Well, good afternoon, early evening. It's evening to many of you out there in the East Coast. I want to welcome you to another show, and thank you all for coming in. Let's see what we got. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Arizona. You might have seen me out on my road bike earlier. I was way up in Fleming Springs up here in Cave Creek. It's really kind of this kind of real quiet road and a big climb, and yeah, it's really very peaceful. And so I got a chance to get out and go a little bit of time at the pool today, and getting ready and for the show. But it was really interesting because a lot of times I'm out on my bike, I get into this whole head kind of thing where I'm thinking a lot. I think a real lot, and I was thinking about the theme of today is going to be. I'd like to have a memorabilia part of my presentation here. Not only just hear me play, but a little bit about my life as a musician. I've been doing it for a long time. It's been a good 45 years, since I've been back in Boston area. And then I went to New Hampshire, and then I was out in Laguna Beach for several years, and big part of my life here in Arizona of 17 years now. So it's, but I have, today is going to go back into my New England time, my memorabilia. And Jimmy Page, I'm glad to see you there, and Steve Brown, and you guys will particularly, and Scott, my East Coast buds, and will remember some of the stuff I'm going to show you. It's pretty wild. And so yeah, I think you'll find it to be, it's definitely a special part of me still over there on the East Coast. Let's see who we got here. Bishop David, good seeing you in the church. Jazz at the Church is watching. I can't wait to be out there with Don Moyo and Bob Lazier with my jazz trio as part of their wonderful jazz series they have out there, and they really bring in all great jazz artists. So I'm really looking forward to that. And you will be seeing at some point here, I'll be doing some live streaming of duos and trios and things. I'm just kind of gearing up. This is kind of my testing ground here, that I got the piano sounding good and figuring out the software, and also I'm just waiting for my switcher and waiting for the world to kind of open up a little bit more for us all. So I hope everyone's doing well out there. I know it's still a very unknown kind of piece of time we're in right now. And I have a new composition. Those that might have caught me on the YouTube presentation on Thursday, I'll be playing it again tonight. It's called May Promise. It's one of my new compositions. I've written 8 so far during this pandemic that we've been in. It's just been home, and I'm just I write a lot of the stuff, and a lot of times in deepest, darkest times, and you try to turn it into something beautiful and positive out of it. And so I'm really I got some really nice material, and I probably in a couple of weeks be doing one show where I'll do all the originals that I've written for the during this time from my house. I'm going to start off today with a beautiful tune, and the theme of this is kind of autumn, and autumn in New York. And it's again, from being from the East Coast, I have a special part of me of the autumn foliage when I was living in New Hampshire for 11 years and coming from Boston. I see, okay, Nabelia and Ben just came in with Gene. I want to send my love to you guys. Big hug to all of you. And again, these are very close friends and very dear friends of mine, and all of you. And we don't get a chance to see each other, so it's really very special to be able to connect this way live without having it be pre-recorded. So. Again, I'm so glad we're able to do it. This is number 21, too, of all my live streams, so it's hard to believe that we've gone this many, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it and bringing people together and getting a chance to play. All the shows here typically are going to be new material, too. So I'm playing some stuff tonight that there's a couple in here that I haven't played at all for a long time, so it should be kind of cool. So anyway, we're going to start off with Autumn in New York. Enjoy. there you go. There was autumn in New York. I know it's a little earlier as we're coming into summer here, but I couldn't help but think about you'll be seeing all this memorabilia coming, and it's all I could say one word. Some of the best foliage you'll see in the world, is where I was living for 11 years. So it's really kind of cool. Well, there's so many tunes to play. This next one coming up is one I played with. Boy, I'm trying to think. I played with so many the old timers when I was really young, and now I'm kind of I'm one of the old timers, I guess, So let's say hi to everyone coming in. Let's see, we got okay, Mary Lou. Thank you for coming in. Ed, good seeing you, Edmund, and Jerry Wilson and Tim Heiser. Yes, I want to again thank you so much for all coming in. It really is it really is, again, it's my motto. I feel like I'm playing a giant piano bar. It's like, it feels so cool, to be able to have everyone here, and really I haven't even seen my kids in a couple of months, so it's kind of like, it's really kind of a time I look forward to, to be able to kind of connect with you all. So this next tune is another old one. I played it with the great Dick Johnson, but I think I heard it the first time with the great guitar player I was playing with in Boston on a gig, Gray Sargent, and he's very, very nice cat, and he ended up he's been with Tony Bennett for a long time, extraordinary musician, and he called this and When Lights Are Low, and it's just a really cool tune. I hope you enjoy. Okay, and here we go. And I haven't played it in a long time. And again, when I'm out on my road bike and working out this morning, climbing hills, and and 95 degrees, whatever it was, 92, and I'm thinking of tunes I'm going to play. But the wildest thing is I'll come up with a set list, and then I'll often, hey, I'm not going to play this one. I'm going to play that one instead. And I get there and I play everything different. So. But I try to do different ones. So every show, and by the way, all the live streams will appear over on my YouTube channel under a very convenient live stream section, so you can access all the shows. Last Thursday night show from YouTube was a blast. We had a blast. We had a lot of international people in there, and it was really fun. And again, a bunch of different tunes. Yardbird Suite. Trying to think of all the stuff I did, but it was really fun. But so anyway, let's move on to When Lights Are Low. Here we go.
You have it, When Lights Are Low. Again, another really old tune, and it's, again, I haven't played it in such a long time, man. It's a fun one to play, and again, I've learned it from a lot of the older guys, and now I'm playing it, and it's one of those. It's just not one you heard that much, you know. I mean, so this is like a lot of the jazz standards that the young jazz players will learn, or the more common things, and these obscure ones that I touch upon, I guess it just kind of goes with the territory. We play so much, so many years, and we get into so much, you know, just, you know, trying to search for different things to play all the time, you know. And so anyway, I want to kind of just touch upon if you haven't seen the Thursday night show, I was thinking about that because, you know, I'm touching on this really cool memorabilia, and it was, I touched on, in the last show on Thursday night, if you get a chance to check it out, looking for something to do, put it on for dinner or afternoon lunch, and get entertained with my memorabilia there. I showed a gig that I played when I was 19 years old, glasses, no mustache. You know, I had a mustache for, I don't know, a million years, and then really curly hair, and with the great Dave Zox. Cindy Gooddale was a singer. And I played at Joe Tecchi's restaurant in the north end of Boston. Boy, I could tell you stories, and it's just unbelievable situation. So anyway, I was there for almost 2 years, met all celebrities and all kinds of, it was a real hangout because it was right across from Boston Garden. So I met all the Bruins, all the Celtics, movie stars, Al Pacino, Sinatra. I mean, it was really kind of a hangout. And the front door of the place didn't even have a name on it, you know. So it was, but anyway, you got to go and you got to see all the pictures. I have pictures there, and everything. It really is cool. It was really cool. So what I'm doing in every show here, I'm touching in this memorabilia. So I'm going to play my original, and then I'm going to come at you with some really cool stuff from New Hampshire. Okay, so this next one. I'd like to do for you now. I wrote my little set list here, and I am staying pretty much to what I want to play. But this next one is called May Promise. And Forever April was my very first one I wrote, and it was in April, written. It was kind of, I started it in March, and then, you know, but it just seemed like for some reason April was going to go on forever when I kind of finalized that tune. And it was a pretty special one. But this one in May gave me a little bit more promise and hope that we're going to come out of this, you know, perhaps in a different place. You know, I think a lot of us will. I know for me personally, I will. You know, I'll come out in surely a different place than I was when I went into this. So it's something that I think a lot of reflection and, you know, and kind of values. It's almost like resetting a hard drive and reformatting.
you do something every day for a million years, and all of a sudden you need a wake-up call where the world shuts down to kind of say, okay, well, what else can I do with my life? Where am I going? What's going on? What have I done? So anyway, this is May Promise. Hope you enjoy it. It's a ballad I put together, and they're all really coming out real nice. And a lot of times, some of my best writing comes in some of the darkest, deepest times, or with emotion and everything in it. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, here we go. There you have it. That's May Promise, and again, it was definitely a promise was in my in my head there when I was writing this. I felt like, okay, we're kind of coming out of this, and hopefully we'll have some kind of a new something new to look forward to in the future. So this brings up a really interesting time, and I want to kind of share with you. This is before I came to Arizona. It was in 2003. I came to Arizona, but prior to that, I was in New Hampshire. I left Boston, and I really did I developed the first video piano teaching, and that's what prompted me to move to a ski town, way up in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, 2 hours out of Boston, and raise all my kids. I have 4 kids and lived in a ski town, and I taught piano by video. This was way back. I developed it in '89. I think I forget the exact dates, but I was in New Hampshire for 11 years, and I was the house pianist at an absolutely beautiful resort up there. And if anyone ever gets to New England, you get to see this. And if you won't, you'll see these pictures, and you will want to go. And Jimmy Page is my number one fan. He lived right nearby, and he used to come see me play there. And I played there and it was a cool gig because I wasn't doing weekends. I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday or something. It was kind of wild. I would play at the beginning of the week. And they were always busy because they had bus tours coming in. And I was playing in this gorgeous dining room. And it's right in Conway, New Hampshire. And it's picturesque, greatest foliage in the world, 85-room resort. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Len Whitmore, Dave Landoni. Len Whitmore is another one that has seen me in the White Mountains up there, and all my gigs up there, and 3 to 5 nights I was there, and Jimmy was there almost every night. He was like, a regular, and it was a really great hang, and the view was to die for. So anyway, I'm going to show you some pictures here. Here we go. This is the White Mountain Hotel in Conway, New Hampshire, where I played for 11 years in this dining room, and I got to know the owners and all the people. They were just a wonderful gig, and so this is the place, and this is Cathedral Ledges in the back. They used to have people climbing this, these rock climbers. It was pretty serious, and and it was a long drive into this place. This is one of the foliage pitches, and that's the resort there. And that circular room that you see on the bottom is where the dining room was, where I played. And this is it in wintertime, and I've left here at times with my Suburban with 4-wheel drive, and I'm glad I had one because 3 feet of snow and plowing through my driveway to get home. But that round room off to the right there, as you'll see, that's where the dining room was. It was absolutely beautiful, and this is it at kind of a twilight nighttime. And that mountain across, you'll see over that flag there is Cranmore. And that looks across the whole valley with all the foliage and everything to a ski mountain. And it's really, there's 5 ski areas, and I was a ski instructor there. That's another whole video, another whole show. I'll talk about that and give you some pictures. But here I am. Da-da-da. Remember this, Jim? Jimmy Page was in Lenny Whitmore and Steve. Okay. This is me back in my mustache days, and these are just various gigs, and it really is something. Here we are, and got rid of the mustache at 50 years old, so it was kind of had it for a long time. But anyway, this is that's the White Mountain Hotel, and behind that wall there to my right is the lounge, and the dining room sits off to this other side. So it really is kind of pretty nice. And here's a typical foliage, some kind of extravagant photographs of the area. You get some of the greatest color you'll ever see. And here's this is the Kangamangas Highway that connects Lincoln, New Hampshire, over to Conway, and it's I forget how many miles it is. It's miles. It might be 17 miles if I recall, or something. But it's truly like this. I mean, it's like eyes, like popping out of your head when you see this. It's just nothing like you've ever seen. And this is the Mount Washington Hotel. I know Mount Washington Mountain here with the observatory at the top, and this is the whole valley leading out to that. So again, this was a big part of my life for 11 years, and raised all my kids as skiers, and they all had GS suits on when they were like little kids and racing and everything. And so we skied almost every day, and it was definitely a cool thing. So anyway, yeah, and I see Jerry Wilson. He said he had Cranmore story for some time. He said he needed a ski instructor. Well, you could have come to the coolest thing. Here's a great story, because I used to play that White Mountain Hotel, and I was a ski instructor at King Pine Ski Area in Madison. So I'd go there and I'd teach all day, but and then and the way the ski schools work is, they have a lot of, guys with this, spray painted hair, and and the young, hot dogs, and guys, and then they have guys like me that are teachers for a living. And performers. So, and if you get a request, it goes from being X amount an hour to significantly different per hour rate. So I'd end up having requests all day long for people that want to take a lesson, because I'd know how to make them feel comfortable and they felt good. And the best part is they'd come to my gig afterwards. So I'd be in a suit and tie after being in ski clothes, and I'd have sunburn and goggles, for my glasses, and it was and I'd get to see these people that I was teaching skiing to, and their families, they'd come back to the mountain the next day in the morning. So it was kind of a wild life. It was really cool, So anyway, I wanted to share that with you and let you know that this is a big part of my journey as a musician. I see Dave Landoni came in. How was your ride, Dave? He's my fellow cycler, so he's trying to get him out here someday to do some riding. We'll ride together. It'll be fun. Great bass player, and more importantly, I want to play with him. It would be great. So anyway, I'm going to continue now with a couple of. I got some really cool tunes that I'd like to play for you. This next one here is I wrote when I was in Laguna Beach. It's called Lagunasero, and it was. It's a Latin thing, and it's a lot of fun to play. And I played it with quartets and trios and things. So it's really it's pretty special. So hope you enjoy. There you go. That was Lagunasero. That was one of my, again, one of the original compositions that I've written when I was back in Laguna Beach. Okay, who we got here? Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed them, Lenny. Yeah, and 50 miles, Dave. Madman. Imagine he cycles like that almost daily. It's crazy. I mean, it's definitely in shape, and it's definitely a great sport. So it's one of those kind of things. Anyway, the Lagunasero is a fun one to play, and it's I got an opportunity to play it with a lot of trios and stuff. It really sits really nice. And this next tune coming up is what's my list? It fell off the piano. Hold on. Okay. This is one I haven't done in a long, long time, and it's something that it got me in this autumn kind of head. I was thinking, okay, we got autumn in New York, and we got autumn leaves, and but this is one that not many of you might not know, and it's I know Dave Landoni would probably know it. Great bass player. Oh, Gene Zen Mohammed, hey, my buddy, my Cohasset beach buddy. Me and Gene. Gene is a great, great drummer, and very, very dear friend. We went through. We go back a million years. I'll tell you a funny story about me and Gene. We used to play in this that backstreet restaurant gig, and where we had My House Trio would feature all these named players every Tuesday. So we'd have Jimmy Mosier and Herb Pomeroy and all these great, great names, Dick Johnson and Grace Sargent. And anyway, we went on. We featured 40 or 50 people over a 2-year period every week. But we'd record the gigs, and we'd be in our tuxes and everything. And we'd leave the gig, and we'd drive, and we'd go have breakfast somewhere, and then we'd carpool. So I'd meet him somewhere, and we'd listen to the whole gig again. So sometimes we'd just pass out, we'd sleep in the car. We're so tired, so tired. So we woke up at 4 a.m. Well, yeah, man, I think we better. I'll meet you at the beach, man. So, and we'll do it again the next time. But we have so many good memories playing the gigs back in the days when there were a lot of gigs around. So it's very cool. Good seeing you, Laura. Laura just got in, and. This next tune coming up is called Autumn Nocturne. Check it out. It's a pretty cool tune. Autumn Nocturne. Again, one of those kind of just a wild tune. It definitely goes all over the place, and it's definitely a fun one to play. I'd like to remind everyone again, that maybe that just came in, all the live streams. This is number 21, and they're all appearing on my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see them all there, and it's really a cool, a cool place to kind of all in their own category. So it's a lot easier to find. And again, some of the stories are priceless. I'm going to go deep into some of the stories every single show. I'll pick something that would be just a really fun time. And I got so many great memories through all the years playing with everyone back, especially this back east audience that I've got so close to over the years. Even though I've been away for a long time, it's like we're very, very close with everyone. This next tune is one that I'm gonna pull out. I played it way back in the very beginning of the show, and I dug it out here. And this is one that my good friend Ed Sandin, great vibes player and piano player at Berklee College of Music, turned me on to this. It's written in 1854, and it's a very appropriate kind of tune because the title is just so intense, man. It's just it's called "Hard Times Come Again No More," and it's really a beautiful piece of music, and it has a simplicity to it, but it gives the artist some room to kind of create with it. So it really is kind of cool. So I wanted to share it with you again. It's one of those ones that I've never heard it before. I heard Ed play it, and I just said, "Man, what's the name?" He sent me a PDF of it, so I went and got it, and I've been kind of worked it into my own stuff. I really dig it. So hope you enjoy it. Good Times Come Again No More, written in 1854. Here we go. Well, there you go. You have Hard Times Come Again No More. Did anyone out there know that tune? It was like it's one of those absolutely, it's a period piece kind of thing, and you can do so much with it. You have so much depth to it, And it's funny because I've shared it with some students, and yeah, man. Thanks, Gene. It does capture the mood. It really does, man. It really does. It's like it's such a deep, emotional. The melody is simple, and and I shared it with some students, and I got to say it was like, and I've had certain situations where someone said, "Well, it's like it might be not jazz enough," but that's what makes it really hard as a jazz artist to take something and try to bring the inner works out of it, And in fact, I saw a great thing today with Ed Saindon had put out there, which you got to check him out. He's really a great guy. I really love the guy. And he's so talented. But he put out a thing today with chord changes to this Bach piece that that he wrote out, and he just did a marvelous job with it, man. It's unbelievable, to have this. So you kind of get this inner. You put it all out there in here into this kind of music. It makes it really become your own, and you have to become very melodic in your playing, and you can't play your bebop lines around this thing. So it's a different kind of head. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'd like to leave you with this one here, with the last tune, and then I got another one I'm going to put on here at the very end. I'll say a couple of words before I split, but I wanted to. The next one coming up is written by Ahmad Jamal. Not many people know this, but this is a great version. It's called Night Mist Blues, and it's written by Ahmad Jamal, and a few people have recorded it, and it's really a great one. I got turned on to this by my very dear friend Fred Haas, who up in and he was the head of the music department at Dartmouth, and for many, many, many years, and extraordinary piano player and sax player. I mean, just one of my all-time favorite musicians on the planet. So, if you ever see this, Fred, make sure you. I got this from you, man. But it's really it's a cool tune, and if you go to my YouTube channel and put in Dan Delaney Night Mist Blues, you got to check it out. You have to check this out. This is, if you do nothing else, it's me at the Nash with Dwight Killian and John on bass, the great Dwight Killian, a phenomenal bass player here, and John Lewis, another great talent. I mean, two heavy cats, and we played this tune, and it was just burning, and the audience was it was a packed house, and Dwight's bass solo, you listen to it to the very last few notes, it is just insane. It is so good. It is so good. So anyway, I'm gonna play a little bit of Night Mist Blues. Check it out. there you go, Night and Mist Blues. That was, again, written by Ahmad Jamal. A lot of people don't know this one. It's really kind of a fun one. But anyway, I want to, again, acknowledge the very first trio. You might have missed it, but at the very beginning, I started off with, I usually start off the show before I come in with my solo stuff with different jazz trio things. I have so much of it on archives and some really great stuff. And this was, the tune you heard in the very beginning was the tune Sophisticated Lady. Played like a swing thing, and it was burning, man. It was a different kind of way people play it. But with Sinclair, Lott on drums and Roger Shew on bass. We lost Roger a few years ago, an extraordinary bass player, and it was a great band. And there's a lot of that stuff can be found on my YouTube channel. That trio, and also some great trio playing. I got it here in Arizona as well with Don Moyo, Bob Lazier, John Lewis. Let's see, Mario Mendevel, Chris Stewart, Jerry Donato. There's a lot of great players here, in Arizona. We're very blessed. Extraordinary players everywhere you go. We seem to find each other. It's really kind of a fun scene. But again, thank you all for coming out. Let's see, we have, let's see again. Feel free to stop into the YouTube channel. Check out any of the old shows. It's really, everything's new, so there'll be new stories, new memorabilia, new craziness I get going on. I mean, I can't wait. I think I have more fun putting together the memorabilia. I was looking through the foliage, and I'm actually planning, I'm hoping to get a trip up there to New Hampshire in October. I know hopefully we'll be free and able to travel more freely, and I'd love to go back there and visit. So that was something I'd be looking forward to. This next tune you're going to hear on the closing is my first composition called Forever April. Hope you enjoy it, and I want to wish everyone a good night. And then I'll be back here 5 o'clock next Saturday, Mountain Standard Time. I'm doing this regularly, and then for the time being here. And then I'll be Thursday night, if you're around, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time from my YouTube channel. Another whole different group of tunes, so it's definitely all different stuff. So if you catch both shows, it's two separate gigs. So anyway, thank you all for coming. Everyone have a good night, and I'll catch you next time around. Okay? Take care. God bless.